Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the number one sports podcast on the entire planet. I'm your host, Drake Tharp. It is episode number 7. You know what that means. It's the Michael Vick episode. What do you know? Number 7, get it? Well, I'll be sorry to tell you there's going to be no dog fighting on this show. The only dog is me. Thank you. Appreciate that. Anywho, I've captured a cold again. If you can't tell in my voice, please pray for my well-being. It's rough out here. I just can't catch a break. But anyway, it's Monday night. I got to record this. I got a lot outside I know this may seem like my entire life, but I got stuff to do outside of this. So it's right before the Bears-Steelers game. Let's hope my boy Khalil Mack takes down big fat Ben Roethlisberger, puts him to the ground. We can only pray, right? We can only pray. Anywho, we have a lot on the table today. It's kind of another TMZ-esque episode. We got some scandals to cover. There's like 3 of them in every single league. NBA, NFL, college football. The college football one's opinionated, but it's a scandal. You'll see. Anywho, yeah, we got a lot to talk about. Let's jump right into it, shall we? Robert Sarver, Suns owner, has been said to be a racist, be a misogynistic asshole. Years of misconduct has been, people have said he's a piece of crap to work for, Suns officials. And the Suns, they might seem like the perfect housewife, couple, like the perfect married couple, all put together on the court. But inside the house, it's a train wreck. Keys are getting thrown, the house is being destroyed, and that's Robert Sarver causing all this. Listen to this, just to give you an insight on how much of an asshole or just weirdo. This is just weird. Listen to this. When the Suns were recruiting free agent LaMarcus Aldridge in the summer of 2015, the team knew that Aldridge had young children in Texas. He was a father, and that playing near them was appealing to him. He wanted to be around his kids. So, during the recruitment, Robert Sarver remarked to 2 basketball operations staffers of the Suns that the Suns needed to have local strippers impregnated by NBA players. So those players would have children in the Phoenix area, so that LaMarcus Aldridge, that his kids could have kids in friends in the area and giving the Suns a potential edge in free agency. That's just one. Robert Sarver also, according to 2 people, not one witness, but 2, between him and Blake Griffin, an interaction, they said that he asked Blake Griffin, "Hey, you shave your legs?" Kind of a semi-weird question. I may have asked 1 or 2 men if they shave their legs, but hey, semi-weird, okay? It doesn't stop there. Get this. Griffin said, "Hey, I do shave my legs." The Sarver then asked, "Do you shave your balls too?" This guy's a fucking weirdo. Excuse my language, but yeah, it's gotta bring up the question: the NBA itself is a corporation, where the teams are under the NBA. Now, if you own a team, are you still? I don't understand the whole logistics behind how it's ran, because if you own a team, that's its own separate business, but the NBA is ahead overall. Do they have audits to where, the boys and the men in black come in and they say, "Hey, what's going on here? Is everything being ran right?" It doesn't seem like they do, because we've already seen this once. If you remember 2015 with Donald Sterling, Clippers owner, nothing organizationally wrong, but he was a racist, and I'm sure that people around the organization could have told that the auditors, "Hey, watch this guy, he's a piece of crap." But this guy is just an all-around, he does it all. He's racist, misogynistic. Here's another thing. He passed around staffers, a part of his crew, pictures of his wife in a bikini, and then he also told them how good of oral sex that she gives. Insane. I cannot believe that this man owns an NBA team. It's ridiculous. So that just brings up the question, who is overall, what's the hierarchy here of the NBA? Does the NBA own the teams with an owner, because Adam Silver himself banned Donald Sterling from every single NBA arena. And I mean, he's not allowed to attend games. He wasn't allowed to own the team anymore. But this guy's on a whole nother level. He, like I said earlier, he just does it all. Shows off his wife in a bikini. Multiple N-words have been said, according to multiple staffers, including Earl Watson, former head coach of the Suns, called him a racist. He's got at least 100 people against him here. And as an owner of a team of 17 years, you're telling me this is all coming to light now? It's not a conspiracy. I'm just saying this is easily the NBA's fault if this is all in the play. Are we not having, people checking on the condition of, the Suns itself as an organization? Why are teams not being checked on by the NBA itself? That's like an HR thing. Every company has HR, human resources, making sure everybody's cool. But we see it in the NFL too with the Washington football team. There's a whole investigation going into it, but it's years and years of misconduct that just come to light like right now. We have 2 probes in both leagues. It's really bad for the business, if I'm being honest, because it just shows how shitty it's being ran. I think that the NBA should, if you're going to own a professional sports team, there needs to be you have $1 billion, but you need to have some sort of background check and like people saying, oh yeah, he's a decent person. Yeah, like have at least, if you have billions of dollars, I'm sure you could have plenty of people say for you that you're a decent person. But people who you've worked for before, like coworkers, because I know there's plenty of people who like to stand out and say this guy was a douchebag. I don't know, like job referrals. But at the same time, you want to own a team, there needs to be responsibility. And if this guy's having 17 years of misconduct, it wouldn't surprise me if his conduct was always like that at previous. He's been a millionaire, but I'm sure there's plenty of people that would say this guy was a douchebag. He should not own the Suns. And you can look in anybody listening right now can look into the whole thing. There's a whole story on ESPN about it. It's ridiculous, to say the least. But I think it's even more ridiculous on the NBA's part to, allow these type of people to own teams. Because obviously I'm sure there's plenty of people who would have bad stuff to say about this guy. That's just one story on the day. Speaking of dumbasses, the college football playoff rankings. If you guys follow my Instagram, I posted on my story that it made me absolutely sick to my stomach seeing the top 4. Top 4 that should be top 8 because the college football playoffs needs to be an 18 bracket. But here's the top 4. Here's what they did. Oregon, number 4. Okay. No. Number 3, Michigan State. They have been. Who have they impressed? Number 2, Alabama. They lost to Texas A&M, and they're a Power 5. They're a Power 5 school, and it's Alabama. That may be why they're in, but if it's Alabama, you expect them to do better. No, you got to hold them at a higher level. Number 1, Georgia. That's obvious. Okay, I'll give them that. But the other 3, I think it could be completely different. It basically just says teams outside of the Power 5 conference have no chance. You might as well not even try. You can go undefeated. Doesn't matter. If you're not in the Power 5 conference, you're screwed. And this would be a lot easier if this was an 18 bracket. This is why UCF wasn't in the college football playoffs 4 years ago. There's not enough teams in it to prove. What's the point of having a perfect record if you have zero chance at the college football playoffs? That's what doesn't make sense to me. Now here's my top 4. Number 4, Ohio State. Close game with Nebraska, they beat them. One tough loss to a ranked Oregon team. Other than that, great wins all around. Ohio State, number 4 for me. They lost to a good Oregon team. They're playing great offensive football. Number 3, Cincinnati, undefeated. End of story. Like they're proving themselves to be an elite football team. They haven't lost. They've blown out everybody. Number 2, Oklahoma, Caleb Williams in at quarterback. They're undefeated. They're an offensive powerhouse. That's representing the Big 12. I got Big 10 ahead of them in Ohio State. Cincinnati in the AAC. Georgia, SEC. There needs to be a plethora of, conferences in this. And you have Michigan State. Michigan State lost, they'll be out of there. And then you got Oregon in the Pac-12. But these are all Power 5 conferences. It doesn't. You could have 6 or 7 different conferences in there if we had a 18 bracket. 18 bracket would perfectly resolve everything, and it would make it a lot more competitive, and we'd see a lot different champions, I think, each year. It's ridiculous. Whoever's in the college football playoff committee, I don't know how they do their firing, but if I was the CEO, everyone would be fired in that. I would walk in that boardroom. You're gone. You're gone. You're gone. What are they watching? This makes zero sense at all. Because what's the point of going undefeated if you're not going to make the playoffs? I don't know. The college football has always been, the pillar status, same team in it every year. And that's why I personally like the NFL more than college, because it's half the times it's the same 3 teams every year and then one, dark horse team. But it's a little different this year. I'd like to see something different. Oklahoma's in there. Oklahoma should be in there. Cincinnati for the first time. Hey, I'd like to see it. I don't know. Wake Forest as well, undefeated. They should definitely be in discussion for it. And there's just no point of going undefeated if it's not going to mean anything to the committee. Anyway, sorry, there's a fire engine interrupting my podcast. How dare you guys? Trying to put out fires and stuff. How dare. I can't believe people anymore. Anywho, another scandal. Damon Arnett. Who is he, you might ask? You might have not heard of him, but he's a Raiders cornerback. First-round pick last year, released today by Vegas for flaunting weapons and sending death threats in a video. Now, this only leads me to one question. Henry Ruggs was just arrested last week, DUI, DUI with death. John Gruden fired. Now Damon Arnett released. Is Las Vegas a bad city for sports? Come on, it's Sin City. You got to live up to the name there. But I've always thought it to myself, nobody really actually lives in Las Vegas, if we're being real. And if you're living in Las Vegas, you're not there for sports. I'll tell you that. There's no point in having a sports team in Las Vegas. Now, I know all the NBA marketers and NFL marketers, shut your mouth, Drake. You don't know anything about marketing. It's Vegas. They'll pay for whatever. But I tell you what, it'll be the least liked. The Charlotte Hornets fans are going to care more about the Charlotte Hornets than if there was a Vegas NBA team. Let's just say that. Or Sacramento. So the Sacramento Kings have been said to be, the least cared about franchise by their hometown. And I just don't see people in Vegas really caring about sports besides betting on it. They don't care about the Raiders. Raiders are Oakland. They're derived in Oakland. Everybody from California likes the Raiders. Rams too. It's basically split like that. Nobody in Vegas cares about the Raiders, and it's just a setup for failure for these young guys. Henry Ruggs arrested. Damon Arnett just released, and he sent death threats, so that's understandable. The whole John Gruden thing, I don't think that's Vegas. I just think he was a douchebag overall, and it was a long time coming. But yeah, it just leads you to the question: what is the point of having a sports franchise in Vegas? It just makes it's good marketing. It's Vegas, obviously, but if there was anybody in marketing who actually cared about people, nobody would have a sports team in Vegas. Sorry. Anyway, the Raiders right now are 5-3. They just lost to the Giants. They still have a decent record. They're still in the AFC playoff picture. So we'll see how they respond from this. We'll see if they pick up anybody to replace him. He was a first-round talent. Now both first-round picks from 2020, Ruggs and Arnett, gone. Just a waste like that. And you can't have that as a sports team. And I'd like to blame it on Vegas, but I don't know. I think it's the Vegas culture. That's my consensus. Anywho, more NFL. This came out this morning. Mac Jones, Mac 10 as a buddy of mine like to call him. I really like that nickname for him. It's amazing. And he's living up to it. Is he the new bad boy in New England? Mac Jones was seen twisting and grabbing Brian Burns' ankle after a play during the Patriots-Panthers blowout from the Patriots. Mac Jones is he's kind of becoming that guy. Like in Step Brothers, when Rob Riggle told Will Ferrell, I just want to punch your face right now. Is there something, Will Ferrell says, is there anything I can do about that? No, it's your face. There's nothing you can do. Mac Jones has that same smug look to him. Fulfilling Tom Brady, Mac Jones, both handsome guys, both young and reckless. Mac Jones fulfilling Tom Brady's shoes, maybe. I mean, like I said last week, we're seeing a Bill Belichick rebuild for the first time. And Bill Belichick, the villain, bad grandpa of the NFL, I think we might see a new dynasty in the makings. And brought to you by Mac 10. More to come on this. It's still in the making. But I really like this bad boy persona for him. I think he can really become one of the most hated athletes in the world if, he's got the face for it. He's got that punchable face. Let's be real here. Mac Jones, if you saw him walk out during the NFL draft when he got selected, you were like, this guy's, I can't stand him. But I kind of like it. I kind of like the bad boy persona a little bit. Patriots are on a damn good run right now. They're playing great. But that leads me to my next point, kind of over the Mac Jones topic. This has been the most competitive year in the NFL that I have seen in a long time. There is no true number one team. We're seeing both conferences. The top teams are kind of starting to fall a little bit. You had the Bills, number one team in the AFC, in my opinion. 9-6 lost to the Jags. The Rams just picked up Von Miller, on pace to be, they're going all out this year. They just lost to the Titans without Derrick Henry. I mean, those are just two examples, but I can't make a Super Bowl prediction right now. I really cannot. I want to say it's Buccaneers versus Bills as of right now. And that's just, I think it's just going to come down to veteranship, and the Bills are the best team in that terrible conference of the AFC. That's what it's going to come down to. And right now, I think it's Bucs and Bills. It's probably going to change next week. Everything changes this week. But that leads into my new power rankings list, top 5, not top 10 anymore, because just changes too much. And I really don't think the 6 out of 10 teams will, make a jump into, I don't know. It's just, I see these 5 teams as the most likely to make a Super Bowl run. Number 5, I got the Rams. Lost to the Titans, but Von Miller did not play. He wasn't ready to play. He's still crying over Denver betraying him. We get it. But they lost 28-19. Matthew Stafford throwing a few picks. The offense wasn't clicking. I would say that this is a true definition of a trap game. And I think that they were all high off the Von Miller trade. They didn't really expect anything with Derrick Henry being out offensively from the Titans. They found a trap game bad, and they took the L. It's all how they respond. Basically, I think the Rams are the most talented team in the NFL. But, can't lose to the Titans, especially when you're the best team in the NFC from what I said last week. And the AFC is leagues below the NFC teams. Anywho, Titans picked up a good win, and they're sitting at number 4. I really think that if they get Derrick Henry back, we saw a defensive presence from the Rams. Once they get Derrick Henry back, I really think they can make a push at the Super Bowl this year. I'm not even kidding. If Tannehill keeps playing good, the receiving core is solid. Derrick Henry, obviously, once-in-a-lifetime running back. Kevin Byard, insane safety play against Stafford. I like to watch the secondary a lot when I watch football. Kevin Byard, absolutely amazing play from him. They're going to be a team to watch out for. If Derrick Henry recovers, 6 to 10 weeks is what they said. I bet he comes back in for Derrick Henry. With that kind of body, you're not going to hold back from an injury. You're going to recover quick. Anywho, Titans at number 4. Number 3, I got the Packers. They lost. They lost to the Chiefs, 13-7. Aaron Rodgers was out. I really don't count that game at all. Aaron Rodgers is pride and joy of that team. Best quarterback in the league. Jordan Love couldn't make any decisions that Rodgers can. I mean, Rodgers, most have said most talented quarterback of all time. But, it just came down to it. Jordan Love is not Aaron Rodgers, and I'd say the Packers win by 2 touchdowns if Aaron Rodgers is in that game. Anywho, yeah, they're sitting at number 3. Number 2, I got the Buccaneers. Now listen, they lost to the Saints. I see that as another trap game in division. Jameis Winston coming into a game against his former team. Tensions are high. Jameis Winston unfortunately went out with an injury, and who's going to scout for Trevor Siemian? Nobody. And he's played damn good this week and last week. The Buccaneers are on a bye week right now. I think they'll come back. Obviously, they're the most talented NFL powerhouse. I think they definitely have the most receiving talent and running back duo. Talent-wise, I think Fournette's highly underrated. And the best quarterback, Tom Brady. So, but their defense really needs to come up. Their defense sucked. It sucked against the Saints. They looked terrible. But just at that competitive nature, there's no true number 1 team right now. And I'm basing this off talent. I know they lost, and they jump up. But at this point, I can't. Like Green Bay without Aaron Rodgers that's what they're hanging on to. But I see more of a defensive presence a little bit from the Buccaneers, more so from the Packers. But anywho, number 1, Arizona's back on top. Colt McCoy and James Conner leading the way, plowing through the 49ers. Yeah, they came back after the loss to the Packers. They proved to why, hey, we can take one, we can shake it off. It was a close game against the Packers, and they just played the 49ers this week. You'd think it would be a tough division game. No, they ran right through them. That's the domination we need for my number 1 spot on the power rankings. Arizona Cardinals, back in it. But my Super Bowl prediction as a prior, Bills, Bucks, still stands. I'll tell you why. Tom Brady, veteran leadership, will continue to reign through for this NFC. I think it's coming to those last years where Brady's like, I think the talent and schemes of these incoming NFL coaches are going to somewhat overtake, Brady's reign. But I do think the Bucs have the most talented offense, and that's what I think it's going to come down to in the end. Anywho, that's the top 5 power rankings, and that's the show. Short little show, I know. But there's a few scandals. Nothing crazy's happened this week. I'm feeling really ill. I'm not gonna lie. I'm gonna go take my temperature once we're done here. If I just pass out right on the show, that'd probably give me some views. But hey, I can't improv it out here. But anyway, thank you so much for watching. This was Drake's Corner, episode 7, Michael Vick episode. The dogs are barking. And they want more. They want more of Drake's Corner. So thanks for allowing me to be on your TV sets, and I'll see you next Wednesday. Thank you.